The current fish kill certainly has gotten the attention of Brevard County residents. Do you think that the fish kill is directly related to the brown tide algae bloom, or could it be the result of something else?
All of the indications, and I've seen data from state agencies, is that it is related to this brown tide bloom, but it's not just a brown tide organism. We actually have a green bloom, cyanobacteria, that looks like it's co-occurring. So there's a relationship there. And what happens when these blooms begin to subside is that the decomposition of the bloom happens, then we lose oxygen in the water column, and the fish kill is a result of that loss of oxygen.
Now, a wide variety of fish seem to be impacted, from catfish and pinfish to larger sport fish. Is it also possible that manatees, pelicans, and even alligators would be affected?
Well, my hope is that we've seen the worst of this, and that we're going to see conditions maybe improve a little bit. My worry, however, is that there's a possibility that this goes beyond just fish and some of the other invertebrates that we've seen, and so manatees and dolphins very often have time to move out of an area. Of course, dolphins are breathing air, and so these mammals are maybe a little less susceptible to low oxygen, but there's also a toxicity concern, and so the state is still looking at toxicity tests. I know there's one report right now of an alligator, but there's no indication yet that they're related, and so at this point it's been fish only. We hope that's how it stays, but we have a watchful eye at all state and local levels to see if we see any additional symptoms, and hopefully we're through the worst of this.
Some even say that the lagoon has reached a tipping point. Do you think that's true?
Clearly the lagoon is different than when I came here in 1978, and there's no question that we are dealing with some problems in the lagoon since the super bloom of 2011 that are symptomatic of a shift in an ecosystem. We know the basic drivers of that shift are nutrient pollution, both in muck in the system and the nutrients that come through stormwater and groundwater. And so we know what we need to do to begin restoration, and that is we need to hold back water, we need to take nitrogen and phosphorus and make sure we're not inputting that in the lagoon. We need to continue to remove muck, especially where we have high loads of muck, so we can get this baseline nutrient load down to more natural levels.
When you say reduce the flow of water, do you mean like from Lake Okeechobee?
Lake Okeechobee has no impact on us up here. There's a lot of rumors going around. If in fact there was a connection, and there is not physically, if there was, you'd see blooms moving from south to north with that water slug. This is an independent event. There's no connection to Lake Okeechobee, although those impacts to Lake Okeechobee, the similarity is we are both being driven. The northern event that we're seeing and the Lake Okeechobee discharges are being driven by a seasonal El Nino event that has made our normal cold winter much warmer, our normal dry winter much wetter, and so we are worried that we're going to leave what should be our best water quality, our time for recovery for the lagoon, and move into the summer stress period. And so I think the citizens and the public should recognize that we are not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination for the likelihood of additional blooms as we move through the season and additional challenges to Indian River Lagoon health.
Would it be helpful to open up a new inlet?
There's a lot of discussion about that, but here's my personal answer and my scientific answer. Let's look at the science. Let's see if there is any reasonable science that suggests that increased flushing might help. The reality is if we were to even decide to open up an inlet, we are years away from being able to do that. And my personal answer is I'm a surfer. But beach tourism is driven by the clarity of the water on our oceans, and so I do not see that as a viable solution, because what it does is it takes a problem right now that has a source, ignores the source, and pushes that problem into ocean water that is further going to impact tourism. It's going to impact beaches, possibly even impact the way sand moves. And so I see way more risk than reward, but we need to be open to the science. So let the science tell us, whether there are opportunities for maybe something less than an inlet, but maybe some flushing. But I have not seen that science compelling for me yet, but I have an open mind, and we should look at every possible solution we can.
What can the individual homeowner do?
Individual homeowners are actually a lot more involved in this than they think. And so if you are mowing your lawn, don't throw your lawn shavings in stormwater swales behind your house. If you are fertilizing, I don't care whether it is the fertilizer ban season or the season right now where it's legal. If it looks like it's going to rain, don't put fertilizer if it looks like it's going to rain within 2 or 3 days of a rain prediction event. We need to stop throwing litter. We need to be aware that everything we put down the drain goes through those water treatment systems and into our lagoon, either directly or indirectly. So pharmaceuticals, detergents, home care products. I mean, the drain is connected to a waterway somewhere, and so if we decrease our individual footprints, then we will decrease some of the problem. We are the problem, and there is no smoking gun, no enemy. We need to work together to solve this problem. Industry, independent sector, and government working together can solve this, and we can have a healthy lagoon again.
Brevard County is suggesting that people might want to help and pick up the dead fish. If they're floating, is that wise, or should we just let them sink?
I believe we need to get these fish out of the system. As they decompose, they'll continue to use oxygen, and so this, we call it the low oxygen stress doesn't go away. Plus, we've got all of the problems of rotting fish. The Brevard County is moving in a partnership, and they are looking at options. So citizens should be, looking for opportunities to volunteer where they can. Watch Brevard County. I don't have any details with me today, but I know that there is a discussion about cleanup, and I know that areas have been designated for disposal areas for fish that citizens may pick up. They should wear gloves. They should take care. This is a water body, and so if they are immunocompromised or have health issues or have open cuts, they should not get involved in cleaning this problem up. And then they should call county officials or just watch the website for calls for volunteers. But take care out there. This bacterial situation we're in is no place for somebody with open wounds or somebody who is immunocompromised or has health issues.